Greetings and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Omar Stennett and we are back again, my people. How are you doing? Yeah. Welcome to another episode of our Friday Big Bangers. These videos are previewed every Friday at 12:30 on all our platforms and also on Irie Times TV. You can also watch the rerun on Irie Time TV on Saturdays as well, and on their Facebook platform. It's there. That's Irie Time TV. It's also on I Am Sure Sports on Facebook and I Am Sure Sports on YouTube. If you're watching that, obviously you would see that. But want to thank some special people today before we get into our main content. First and foremost, let me thank all the doctors and nurses and porters and people who work in the morgues all across Jamaica. We are going through a very difficult time, and all of these people, the healthcare profession, they are working diligently and tirelessly to help us get over this pandemic. We love and appreciate your great work, and we don't know. We just want to say thank you, because we can't do enough to repay you for all the work that you're doing. Also to the security forces who are out there in the pandemic, and they are keeping us safe and helping to fight crime, though there's a pandemic going on. So big thank you, doctors, nurses, porters, hospital administrators, in people in the health centers, people in the private sector and the public sector. A big thank you from all of us here at I Am Sure Sports, and from all our subscribers and all the persons who watch our channel. We thank you. I also want to thank our subscribers. Our channel continues to grow. We are not the hugest platform, but every day we get one person to subscribe, 2 persons to subscribe, and that is enough. It gives us the courage, the energy to carry on for another day, because one more person by their subscription indicate that they like or love what we're doing. For the persons who you may not like it, and even you may put the thumbs down on our video, listen, that's fine, that's cool, that's how you feel, but all you have to do is just let us know what you don't like, and if there's something that we can do to make it better, we will. And here's why we do that: because we take criticism as a means of making our product better. So when you put the thumbs down on any video, just in the comment section, just state for us what you don't like, and if we can fix it, we will certainly fix it so we can better serve you. That's the I Am Sure Sports way. Well, have some sure business to tell you about today, and so we're going to dive into it right now. Well, by the time you get this video, the first World Cup qualifiers for Jamaica would have been played, and they will be 2 days away from the second qualifier. Or what do I mean by that? By the time you get this video, the Jamaica versus Mexico game in Mexico would have been completed. All right, and then the game the game that they would play, the second game, will be against Panama in the National Stadium. Now, people, I'm going to give you my team selection. I'm also going to put it in the description of this video, so you can make your comments and let me know what your thoughts are. All right, so here we go. For the Mexico game, in goal we have none other than Andre Blake. All right, Andre Blake plays in goal. All right. Remember, I am not Coach Whitmore. I am going to do a very simple back five, because I want to be sure that I come away from Mexico with at least 1 point. All right. I want to win, but barring that, I don't want to lose. The high altitude, I think, will affect the team. So my setup would be very simple. Damian Lowe, Alvas Powell, and Adrian Mariappa would be a back three. On the right side, so let me go again. Damian Lowe, Alvas Powell, Adrian Mariappa, that back three. right? Then on the left side, I would go Kemar Lawrence. And on the right side, I would go with Javian Brown. That would be back five with goalkeeper Andre Blake. It means that I'm going to play 4 in midfield. When I'm defending, I will have 2 in the holding position. When I'm attacking, I create a diamond. All right, so the 2 sitting would be Anthony Grant from Swindon Town, first call up, having great desire to play for Jamaica. This is his first game, first call up, and he's a hard tackling, bustling kind of player. Can be a little rash, but I think he will put in a shift because he desires to represent the Reggae Boyz. So I'll put him in alongside Devon Speedy Williams. All right. Now, this is where it can get a little bit complicated in terms of what you do for the top 3. So for the top 3, I will go with, on one side, I will go with Junior Fleming. All right. On the other side, I'm going to use Blair Turgott. And in the center of the 3, I'm going to use Corey Burke. And then up front, I have Shamar Nicholson. That's how I would set it up at the start of the game. And based on how the game progresses, then I'll make changes. I think that's a good enough team to come out of the first half, 0-0. And as the game progresses, we get to the 70th minute, the 85th minute, hopefully, without conceding, then we can put on a more offensive player to create something going forward. But that's how I would set up the team, looking to not lose, getting at least a point. And if I don't win, that's okay. I get a point from that game. Now, you may be asking, so what are you going to do for the Panama game? The Panama game to me is a game that I must win. So I am going with my best attacking 11. All right. So changing a few things here. Now, Liam Moore and Damian Lowe has a very, very good working relationship. They played in the Gold Cup and they did very well. So I'm going Liam Moore, Damian Lowe. I'm starting them. All right. I'm going to put Ethan Pinnock in that back 3 as well. I'm going a back 3 because the Panama team, if you watch them in the Gold Cup, they have these big, tall, robust players, very rough. They like to play the ball aerially and things. So I would play that back 3 to nullify the effects of their aerial powers, especially on set plays and free kicks. All right, Damian Lowe also has a way of coming out of defense, and when he does that, I think it leaves spaces at the back. But when you play with the back 3, then you'll have Ethan Pinnock and Liam Moore covering. So what do you do on the flanks? Well, now this is where I make some changes. I'm putting Bobby Reed on the right for this game. So Bobby Reed would play on the right, more of a wing back, and Kemar Lawrence on the left. All right, now Kevin Stewart, his status is kind of not so clear. If he's here, he sits in that holding position. All right. If not, then Daniel Johnson would sit there. All right. So if Kevin Stewart is there, I put him there. If not, then Daniel Johnson would be there. All right. So that's 6 because I'm going with a 3. So Daniel Johnson, I have Ravel Morris. All right. Daniel Johnson, Ravel Morris are the 2 in that midfield. All right. And I would go with Kemar Roof. All right. So Daniel Johnson, Ravel Morris, Kemar Roof. That's if Kevin Stewart is not there. If Kevin Stewart is not there, then Kemar Roof will go up front with Leon Bailey and Mikel Antonio. In the absence of Kevin Stewart, I'm going Mikel Antonio as the central striker, Leon Bailey on one side, and then if Jamal Lowe is available, he plays on the other side. If he's not available for the game, then this is where now you think like, who do you put there? All right. And in the event that happens, then I would go with a Corey Burke. I'd go with a Corey Burke. So that's my starting 11. Like I said, it will be in the description and you can look at it. But anything above 4 points is good success. 4 points is average. Anything below that is bad, but it's not the worst. Key is that we must win the home game against Panama. Critical to the progress going into the World Cup. Again, Coach Whitmore has a very difficult task because the coaching staff had to be split, where Paul Hall has to stay in Jamaica, work with one set of players, and Whitmore and Meron Garden travels to Mexico with the next set of players. So it's a very complicated situation, and we're hoping for the best, and the management system at the GFF will be able to set up such an environment so we can get the best possible results. All right, so that's it as it relates to the national team. As it relates to the local Premier League, as we stick to football, as you know, it is very, very, very competitive. We're going to have our JPL show on Thursday, and you can watch the rerun of that on our YouTube platform. But the JPL is at a critical stage because most teams have 2 games remaining. The JPL is the Jamaica Premier League, and at this point, the top 2 teams are tied on 14 points. That's Mount Pleasant and Vere, and they meet this weekend, top of the table clash. And then below them you have 5 teams on 13 points. That's just 1 point away from first place. 2 teams on 12, or 2 teams, yes, on 12 points. And so it is very tightly bunched, and very, very, very interesting 2 weekends of the JPL are left. One more coaching change. Coach Ricardo Gardner of Portmore United, he migrated, so they have a new coach there. They go up against one of the top teams, Cavaliers, this weekend. So the JPL is getting exciting as it approaches the playoffs that all of us are anticipating. Remember how it is that the first 2 teams, first place and second place, automatically qualify for the semifinals, and then the other top 4 teams play each other, and the winner, the top 2 from the 4, comes and join the first 2. That's first place and second place after the first round. That creates the semi-final periods, and then from there on you go into the final. One more addition that you can expect in the JPL is that there is going to be a playoff after this season is completed between 2 Western teams. Wadada United and Mobile United will be playing, and the winner of that playoff series will become the 12th team in the JPL, and they would be replacing UE. You may be wondering why this is so. Here's the reason why. The last edition of the JPL that was completed, where teams were relegated, Reno was the bottom team and Mobile United was the 11th place team. All right, so they qualify being the 11th place team. All right, how does Wadada make it? The last time teams were promoted to the Premier League, that was Dumbeho, Vere and Malines were the 2 last teams promoted. Wadada was the 3rd place team. So Wadada qualifies being the 3rd place team in the last qualifier, and Mobile qualifies as the best team of the 2 that were relegated from the last series of the JPL. So both play each other to qualify for the next edition of the JPL. Hope you understand that, and so exciting times ahead where that is related. Great stuff happening in track and field as the Diamond League series continues. Shelly finally got one up against Elaine. She did 10.60. If you have not heard, if you have not seen, you need to watch that. She defeated Elaine one more time, and that's good to see. So Shelly is finding some form. She's still running hard. I think the next time we will see them race each other is in the Zurich. I think that's the final of the Diamond League, and the winner of that pocket $60,000 US dollars. Wow, money, 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 money. Yeah, and what a battle that will be to see Elaine Thompson here are going up against Shelley and Fraser Price for 60,000 because both have made the finals of the 100 meters in the Diamond League. The format of the Diamond League is a little different for this edition. All right, the Caribbean T20 cricket competition has started the CPL, and good start to it so far. Jamaica Talawas scored over 250 runs. That was very good, and they won that game. But you know how the Jamaica Talawas are, they could score 250, but they could also be the team that scored like 70 runs. That's how the batting has always been. They are up there. They have won a couple of games. I mean, good performance by Kennard Lewis, who is the leading run getter so far. The captain of the Talawas need to, I think, look at his batting and look at his play. This is an opportunity for players to break through into the West Indies T20 team for the T20 World Cup. But I mean, what can I say? I think the St. Kitts and the Nevis Patriots, they have a very, very good team. They have Sheldon Cottrell out there. They have Evan Lewis out there. They have Bravo out there. They have Chris Gale out there. That's a very, very good core. Thomas, the wicket keeper. Very, very good core, solid team. They are performing well. But you know, the Talawas, I think, have a solid team and can come off as finalists in this year's edition. I think Trinbago Knight Riders, they haven't changed their team. It's kind of a very similar team, except that Dwayne Bravo is no longer there, and I could see them not making it. I mean, most of the teams are kind of the same as in the last edition. I think there are less quality overseas players, and that is due to the pandemic, and many kind of pulled out. But you have Duplessis, who is still in the league. You know, so they are just a little bit of changes, a couple of name changes. The Zooks changed their names to the Kings, and the Barbados Pride changed their names to the Royals. And so, you know, that's really what is happening in the CPL. But I want these players to grab the opportunity the CPL present to break through into the West Indies T20 team going into the T20 World Cup. I think there are spaces available, and good performances in the CPL could see people breaking again into the first team, into that starting 11, and making a name for themselves. I think Chris Gale's position in the team for the World Cup is very questionable. He has not been on good form. He didn't play well in the first game, out injured with a slight niggle, so we don't know how many more games he will play, but his position is questionable in the T20 team for the World Cup. Same, so I think with Lindell Simmons, who has not been having a good CPL so far. So there are a few spaces that other players could really, you know, squeeze themselves into the 15-man squad heading to the T20 World Cup. So watch the games. They're out there. They have games almost every day, double headers, one game in the morning, one game in the evening, and the games are being played in St. Kitts and St. Kitts over there. All the games and are primarily without any spectators because of the ongoing pandemic. So that's what's happening with the CPL. As you know, if you follow Test cricket, you would also know that England defeated India to level their series 1-1. The first game was rained out, then India won the second game, and then now England has come and defeated them in the third game. So there is a 1-1 tie in the series, and so it's very interesting how that is going. India look poor in terms of their batting, especially in that second test, and England really bowled well. I think India could have done better in their first inning. Now, I want to go back to some football, but at a different level. I'm going to go to the club level overseas to speak about the fact that the transfer window has closed and several interesting things happened that I want to highlight. Number one is that Cristiano Ronaldo has returned to Manchester United. I think this is a good thing for the EPL, number one. Very good thing for the EPL and good for Manchester United. He's going to fit in. So there are acquisitions for major acquisitions for this window: Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, and Varane. A centre-back, a player who plays on the outside right or left, and Cristiano Ronaldo that we all know. They have not lost any of their major pieces, including Paul Pogba, who is still there. And so they are going to be pushing the top four, but I still see them struggling to break into it because I think Chelsea are a solid team and they're playing well, and they just signed Saul on loan from Atletico Madrid, and earlier they had signed Lukaku from Inter Milan. And I think that gives Chelsea the edge. They also have not lost any major pieces. And so I see Chelsea as a top contender. Manchester City made one major addition, and that is the addition of Jack Grealish, who I think will add some dynamics to their play when Kevin De Bruyne returns, who is out. But they have also kept the core of their team. So I could see Chelsea, Manchester City. But the team that also looks good, though they haven't made any major signings, but what they have done is that they have their defense line fit and healthy, is Liverpool. Liverpool, for me, I think like Van Dijk is like a new signing, and Joel Matip, a new signing, Gomez, a new signing. All of these players suffered major injuries in the last campaign, and they were out for most of the season. Here it is that they have returned to bring solidity to the Liverpool defense, and they played the Liverpool system better with Van Dijk because of his ability to pass those long diagonals from back to front. That changes the dynamics of how Liverpool plays. And so again, I see Liverpool, City, and Chelsea. That's Manchester City, Liverpool, and Manchester City fighting for the title. That is like, for me, the set top three. Then the fourth position is where we will, who is going to be there? Will it be Manchester United? Will it be a Tottenham, a West Ham, a Leicester, any of these teams? But I am sure that the title argument will be settled between Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester City. Manchester United will have a good enough season, but I don't think they have a defensive midfielder right now that gives them the edge over those teams. I think that's one area that they should have vigorously pursued in the window, because it's a spot that they need to fill, and they did not, and I think it's going to affect them as the season progresses. I think the other teams fill the spots that they needed to, with the exception of City, who were trying to sign Harry Kane, who remained at Tottenham. Tottenham having a good start to the season, and their major signing to me is the coach, Nuno, who is a very, very good coach. He was at Wolves, moved over to Tottenham. They have not had any major signing, but the fact that they were able to retain Harry Kane is a big, 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 big deal. All right, he's their captain and their leader. And so I expect Tottenham to be battling. I don't see them really edging out. If I had a choice between Manchester United and Tottenham for fourth place, I would go United. I think Aston Villa, though they have signed Leon Bailey, they have made a couple more signings here and there, but I don't think they have a good enough core to nudge out Manchester United. Leicester is a team that seem to always collapse close to the end of the season. If you remember, even when they won the title, if Olivier Giroud did not miss a couple of goals, they would have lost out to Arsenal because they had this lead, and as the games progress, and over the season you have seen that they are up there in the last 6 games, they just fall apart. And I think because the coaches at Leicester seem to run the same set of players throughout the season, and then at the back end, the legs get weary, they get tired, and they suffer at the back end. And so I think that is going to be a major problem for Leicester. You may be wondering, how come you're an Arsenal man and you're not talking about Arsenal? All right, I'm going to give an update on Arsenal. Arsenal has spent the most money in this window of all the teams in England, close to $150 million. All right, they bought a replacement left back that they need, a left back to replace Kieran Tierney, who always gets injured. They bought a right back, a Japanese, Takiura Tomiyasu, I think his name is. He's a right back. They bought a centre back to replace David Luiz in Ben White. They bought Ramsdale as a backup goalkeeper, Sambi Lakanga as a midfielder, and Odegaard as a number 10. So they have purchased 6 players. The profile of these players is that none of these players are over the age of 23. So based on the profile of the players, my thought is that Arsenal are not looking to win the league this season or to probably finish in the top 4 this season. So it's a young squad that they are building. All right. They have also released several players from the club, Joel Willock being one of them. So I see them struggling and probably finishing highest 7th. I think they have enough quality to finish 7th. If they go above that, they have gone above expectation, right? Don't know that the coach will remain, but I think the squad is good enough to finish at the highest 7th. That's my thoughts where Arsenal is concerned. I don't think they bought enough experience to support the youth that they have. Arsenal could field 11 players, all under the age of 24. And as you know, in the Premier League, to go to the top and keep that and win the league, you need experience. And they are woefully lacking in that area. All right, so nothing much to say. You know, we were defeated 5-0 by City. Yeah, but yeah, man. So that's really the show for today. We are going to be talking to you in the coming week about the NFL restarting and what is happening in preseason, and then NBA kicks off in October. Yes, and so there's a lot of things happening in the preseason. We're going to give you some details and some updates on that as well. Remember, if you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel. Make a comment, share the videos. Check us out on Irie Times TV. Fridays at 12:30, and there's a rerun on Saturdays. You can also watch us on their Facebook platform as well when we do our live shows. We're over there now on Irie Times TV. People, respect, bless up, stay safe, right? Wear your mask, sanitize, social distance. Let us get through this together, and so that we can enjoy this beautiful country called Jamaica. We don't want to be locked up in our houses for one more year, not being able to see the beauty of this island. So let us play safe until we're past this phase. Bless up. Have a wonderful day. I am Omar Stennett, aka Manning's Man, and this is I Am Sure of Sports. I am sure that Jamaica will be making it to the World Cup in 2022. I am sure that when these first 3 games are finished, Jamaica will have 5 points minimum. I am sure. Book it. Book it. Make sure you don't miss it. Remain blessed.